إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن نبينا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Brothers and sisters in Islam, since Ramadan is just around the corner, usually we get a lot of questions concerning Zakaat, who to give it to, how much, all the different ahkam concerning Zakaat. I thought it useful to dedicate at least one khutbah to this very important topic. Zakaat, as we know, is a fundamental aspect. It is a pillar from amongst the pillars of the religion of Islam. And the scholars in Islam, they've said that this important pillar was established by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the wahi revelation of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, or to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in the second year of Hijrah. And it is one of those things that helps not just individuals but communities. Zakah, as many things in Islam, is there to help people. And the linguistic meaning of the word zakah, it is something that increases, something that increases. And the scholars in Islam, they said that this is zakah, it is a test, like many other things. It is a test where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to show that your love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is far greater than the love that you have for the money in your pocket, the money in your bank, and so on. This zakah is a way for you as a Muslim to grow closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this zakah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran that there are 8 different groups of people that have right to this zakah. And this is important to understand because many people, they don't even understand the very basic concepts of zakah. Yes, they understand that zakah is about giving to the poor or those less fortunate, but there's so much more to zakah. If zakah is implemented in its right way, it helps not only establish but maintain communities and societies. This zakah is much more than just giving money. Even in the fiqh, the scholars in Islam, they say there is zakah when it comes to money. There is a zakah when it comes to gold. There is a zakah when it comes to silver. There is zakah even with the animals that you own. There is zakah when it comes to the fruits that you grow. So zakah is not just one thing, but it touches on many different things. And for most Muslims, if you ask them, did you pay your zakah? They will think it means zakat al-fitr. And they don't even realize that there is such a thing as zakat al-mal. Or if they realize that there is such a thing as zakat al-mal, they might not know about zakat al-fitr. And they think one is the other. And everyone thinks that the zakat al-mal is connected to Ramadan, when in reality Ramadan has nothing to do with zakat al-mal. Yes, some scholars in Islam, they say it is better, or at least it is permissible for someone to delay zakat al-mal just a little bit if they want to give it out in the month of Ramadan. But that does not mean that you have to wait until Ramadan comes for you to give out zakat al-mal. So zakah in general, it is a very important yet misunderstood pillar from amongst the pillars of the religion. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions 8 different groups of people that are allowed or permitted to take this zakah. Why is this important to know? It is important to know for many different reasons. At the very least, brothers and sisters, one thing that we fail to understand is zakah is not only giving to those who don't have anything. Zakah, it is about helping people in different situations. Often when I request brothers and sisters to, instead of sending their zakat back home, to utilize it within the community, the first response, do you know what the first response is from people? They'll say, there's no poor people in Canada. Sheikh, you don't know? There's no poor person in Canada. That might be true. But the answer to that is it only poor people that get zakat? No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has structured it in such a way that yes, the poor people are the first ones, the most entitled to zakat. But there are more than poor people. When Allah Azza wa Jalla speaks of the people who get the zakat, إِنَّمَا صَدَقَاتُ لِلْفُقَرَاءِ وَالْمَسَاكِينِ, He speaks about the fuqara, the masakin, the poor, the people that don't have anything. But even then, the scholars, they make a distinction between the faqir and the miskin. The faqir is the one that doesn't have anything, is truly struggling. And the miskin is the one who barely can make ends meet. They have a little, but it's not enough. We know people like that in our community. And that is not to say that it is not permissible for you to send money back home. Yes, the person who is poor in Canada, in Victoria, is not like the person who is poor in Libya or in Somalia or elsewhere in the world. And perhaps due to circumstance, it might be more virtuous, it might be more rewarding for you to help those that are really in need. But it does not mean that you forget about the people that are close to you. This is an important Islamic concept. This is why scholars in Islam, they say the zakat, the asl of the zakat is that it's given within a community. Why? Because it brings about so many benefits. When we help people, who are we supposed to help the first? Who are entitled to our primary help? It's our family, people that are around us. And yes, zakat is not supposed to be given to family because of restrictions. But when you benefit people, it is supposed to be those closest to you. And then you look beyond that. People in your neighborhood, people in your community, people in your city. And when you establish the sharia, when you establish something as important as zakah in a community, people around you will see the benefits of it. The Muslims will know how effective this pillar is. The non-Muslims will recognize, oh, you guys, you put money together, you put food together, and you help those less fortunate. And they will see the beautiful aspects of the religion. But if every person sends their money back home, then there is no zakah in the community. And again, I don't want brothers and sisters to misunderstand what I'm saying. That people start saying that the Imam is saying, stop sending money to Syria, stop sending money to other parts of the world. All I'm saying is strike a balance. If there's not poor people here, there are other paths. But we as a community, we need to understand that the reason why zakah is a pillar in the religion, why it is a rukun, it is not just something that is encouraged, it is a rukun. Because it's so important. If it is established in the way that it is supposed to be done, it brings about so much benefit. And yes, you don't need any institution. The religion is between you, yourself, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Islam, there is no pope. There is no sheikh that can order you to do things. The only thing a sheikh or an imam can do is tell you their understanding of the religion. Similarly, when it comes to the zakat, you don't have to go to a masjid to give your zakat. If you know the conditions, if you know who to give the zakat to, if you know the things that prevents a person from being eligible for zakat, if you have that knowledge, by all means, take that zakah yourself and give it to the people that you know, that are in need. But for the majority of the people, they might not know all the ahkam, all the details. So instead of making a mistake, they entrust someone with it. Whether it is the imam, the masjid, whatever it might be. So this is an important topic, brothers and sisters. It is one that we address every single year, and inshallah this year we will do it as well. During Ramadan we will have specific classes on the different rulings when it comes to Zakah, and I hope that all of you will participate. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله على إحسانه وشكر له على توفيقه وامتنانه وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له تعظيما لشأنه وأشهد أن نبينا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. One understanding of Zakah in Islam is that Zakah is about sustainability. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَهُوَ الَّذِي أَنْشَأَ جَنَّاتٍ مَعْرُوشَاتٍ وَغَيْرَ مَعْرُوشَاتٍ وَالنَّخْلَ وَالزَّرْعَ مُخْتَلِفًا أُكُلُهُ وَالزَّيْتُونَ وَالرُّمَّانَ مُتَشَابِهًا وَغَيْرَ مُتَشَابِهٍ كُلُوا مِنْ ثَمَرِهِ إِذَا أَثْمَرَ وَآتُوا حَقَّهُ يَوْمَ حَصَادِهِ. The scholars in Islam, they say when Allah Azza wa Jalla is telling us وَآتُوا حَقَّهُ يَوْمَ حَصَادِهِ, this refers to Zakah. But interestingly, the word that comes after it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, وَلَا تُسْرِفُوا, and do not be wasteful. And some scholars in Islam, they've made the conclusion that because the israf is mentioned after the zakah, it shows that zakah is there to teach us the idea of sustainability. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking from you your wealth, whether it be your money or the fruits that you grow, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not asking you to give everything that you have, because that's not sustainable. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, وَلَا تَجْعَلْ يَدَكَ مَغْلُولَةً إِلَىٰ عُنُقِكَ وَلَا تَبْسُطْهَا كُلَّ الْبَسْطِ. Do not put your hand, do not strain yourself, literally, and do not make your hand flat. Because the religion is a religion that is in the middle. When you give in moderation, you give with what you are able to give. But you see the human nature, that when it comes to many things, we commit this act of israf. When you look at the sea, when you look at the oceans, people are talking today about overfishing, right? That the ocean is dying. Why? Because of what human beings, mankind, have done. When you look at the forest, they say here in North America, before the settlers came, much of it was forest. But what did people do? They did not have that moderation. They came, they saw trees, and they thought it would never finish. And they kept cutting down the trees. And then now people are saying that places like the Amazon might not last. This is a reality. But zakah is there to teach us a lesson. Zakah is not a fine that we have to pay for being Muslims. No. It helps us on so many different lessons, so many different levels. It teaches us so many lessons. But only if we understand, only if we dig deeper and study our religion. People who do not do so, they think that zakah is a burden. They try to find ways that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us.